This is Eddie Hearn, Matchroom Boxing. You are watching Sporting Icons. You don't need to be anywhere else.
Okay, so I was reading Eddie Hearn's statement, and it appears that he's no longer interested in a Deontay Wilder versus Anthony Joshua fight. And this is what his statement had to say. We were offered a deal that we accepted, but it fell through. It's not my fault now that some of the alternatives may not be anywhere near the last number. So that makes us reconsider our options. We're also in line to potentially fight for the IBF world title versus Filip Perkovic or Otto Wallin. So I don't really care about Deontay Wilder. He's in his own problems. The guy ain't fought for a year, and his last fight was about 40 seconds. He don't really want to fight, I don't think. Eddie Hearn's statement. Now, there's a number of ways to look at it, this one, but how I look at it is Eddie Hearn is only interested in Joshua versus Wilder if it's huge amounts of money. And it shouldn't be that way, should it? Because ultimately, it's still going to be a big fight. Now, while the original people who were putting on boxing in Saudi Arabia, i.e. Skill Challenge, through Prince Khalid and Amir Abdullah, they were really interested in this fight, and they were willing to pay Wilder and Joshua a huge amount of money. Now, they're no longer in charge of sport and boxing in Saudi Arabia. So therefore, the original deal and the offer is no longer on the table. So what Eddie Hearn is saying, yes, it's not his fault. Where the other alternatives, where he's looking at, say, Dubai or Japan or Vegas or Wembley Stadium, however, yes, they're not going to be as much money. So yes, the alternatives are not as lucrative as the Saudi offer. Okay, fine. But it's still going to be huge money. I mean, who else is Wilder going to fight out there that is going to pay him more money than a Joshua fight? There isn't one. Not one fighter on the planet Wilder could fight that's going to put more money in his pocket than a Joshua. So you can put it on at Wembley. It's still going to be a career high payday for Deontay Wilder. It won't be the Saudi kind of generational wealth, but it's still going to be a hell of a lot of money. Right? Joshua, again, outside of Wilder, who could he potentially fight that is more money for him? Bear in mind, neither one of them world champions. You could look at, say, Tyson Fury. Yeah, okay, granted, that would put more money in his pocket, for sure. Would Zhili Zhang? Maybe. If it was in China, maybe. But it's a very, very small pool of what-ifs, especially as Fury and Zhang are now on the Queensbury side of the street. So that makes fights more difficult, doesn't it? So I don't understand this whole, well, if it's a stupid amount of money, we'll fight. If it's not, then we won't. Now, from one side, I can understand that if there's an option for Joshua to fight Wilder for no belt or nothing, but a huge amount of money, or you can fight either Filip Perkovic or Otto Wallin, or the winner of that fight for a world championship, of course, all fighters should always want the world championship. Of course you should. So I can understand it from that perspective. But the reality is, it's not like Joshua needs more money. It's not like Wilder needs more money. Both of them live pretty simple, low-key lifestyles. They've got more than enough money in the bank, surely. Okay, I mean, maybe they've got some kind of financial issues. I have no idea. Maybe they've been waxing money. No idea, okay? But the point is, it shouldn't always be just about the money. Because when you're fighting for just money, you're going to get knocked out. And that could be Joshua and it could be Wilder. Whoever you pick to win that fight is irrelevant to me. Personally, I think Joshua's going to win. I do. But how do I know? Until I see the fight, how would I honestly know? But to say that he doesn't care about that fight, why? Because the Saudi offer is not on the table anymore? So you're only really interested in that fight if it's Saudi money. If it's not, then we're not too bothered. But why? Because I'm sure Joshua versus Wilder will still be an eliminator to become the WBC mandatory. Now, granted, Wilder shouldn't be there because Wilder had the opportunity to fight Andy Ruiz Jr. The WBC should have not only ordered that, which of course they did, but they didn't put a time scale on it, and they didn't put a purse bid on it either. Where this is how much Wilder gets, this is how much Andy Ruiz Jr. gets. Get to it. If you don't, then you're both getting pulled out. But they didn't do it. PBC favouritism, you see, and now the WBC is going to have some issues going forward with the PBC potentially being out of boxing for a while. Potentially, but of course let's hope not. But anyway, Wilder Joshua, it's still a big fight. It's a fight that pretty much every boxing fan in the world will want to watch. If not, then at least they'll want to know what the result is. They're going to want to watch the highlights of it, at a minimum. So yeah, it's very disappointing that seeing that Eddie Hearn saying he doesn't really care about Wilder. Now, he is right, Wilder hasn't fought in a long, long time, so how much is it really in his heart to keep on fighting? Maybe he's just fighting just for the money now. If that's the case, then he shouldn't be fighting. No fighter should be fighting if you're just interested in the money. If you're not interested in any form of legacy, then don't bother, because it's dangerous for you. So I think Wilder should at least get a fight on ASAP. Don't really know how he's going to do that with the latest PBC problems. But anyway, it's disappointing to hear that. Very disappointing. But because I want to see that fight. That fight's been, well, it should have happened a long time ago is what should have happened. But it didn't, and we are where we are. Wilder ducked him for many, many years. Could have fought him for undisputed when both of them were undefeated. But Wilder didn't want to do it. He didn't want to do it. Even for huge amounts of money. Wilder even said it himself, that he took less money to fight Fury than what he would have got to fight Joshua, as per the offer that he got. And of course, he's talking about the 100 million. So, anyway, you live by those mistakes. Anyway, that's my thoughts. You drop me yours. Click thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you next video.